Welcome to the Limberous podcast.
Ball.
This is episode 2.
Two.
We should do quick introductions. Go ahead.
I am Dr. Bill Kaizer.
I am Charles Limberous.
I'm tall Limberous. And we just want to first just say that our very dear friend, dear friend, Joel Limberous has passed.
How did he pass, Bill? Dr. Bill Kaizer? How did
Dr. Bill Kaizer?
How did
How
Joel
did he
pass?
pass?
It's a total mystery.
No, it's not.
Let the record show it's not a mystery.
No.
There was a heart bomb.
It was a tragedy.
It was a tragedy.
And who attached the bomb to the heart?
Dr. Bill Kaizer. This isn't the first time it's happened either.
He's awaiting his trial right
He
now,
is.
and so we figured we'd shoot a quick a podcast.
He's
before
also
he goes to
losing
jail.
his license. But we will still refer to him as Dr. Bill Kaizer.
As a sign of respect.
Thank you.
Rest in peace. Joel, this is for you.
Okay. What are we talking about today?
Nuggets, Wolves, Game 7.
Mm-hmm. Good game.
Oh, great game.
I would say so.
First half, maybe not the best, for both teams. It was a very low-scoring half.
It's a low-scoring game.
Low scoring series.
It was the lowest scoring game for the Timberwolves this whole series. Or, not this whole series. This whole season in the first half. They were held to like 33 points.
Wait, can you redo that? What was the stat?
It was the lowest scoring first half of the entire season. For the Timberwolves.
That's crazy.
And they still won it.
It's because the Nuggets are goated, dude. Nuggets an 8. Anyway.
Best of 8.
Yeah.
First 1 to 4.
Tiebreaker goes
Win
to
by
the
2.
MVP. Yeah, that'd be sick. Yeah, no, the Nuggets are out, dude. That's kind of crazy. Who could have seen that coming?
Myself, and also my good friend Dr. Bill Kaizer, who we're still on good terms with after the operation.
Because just because you lose one friend doesn't mean you can't keep the one that killed him. What do you think about the game, Dr. Bill Kaizer? Initial thoughts?
I thought it was great.
Do you care to elaborate?
Yeah, no one could stop Karl Anthony Towns.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, no.
It was better than Draymond Green.
No, he
Much
is not better than
better
Draymond Green.
Than Draymond Green.
No.
If by chance you see this, comment down below.
Draymond?
Who is better, Draymond or Karl Anthony Towns?
At defending Jokic
No. I think just overall, who's better?
Right now?
Cat by far.
Yeah.
And I guess we can even say guarding Jokic, who is better? Cat.
No, bro.
And he showed it this game. Like, yeah, he got scored on quite a few times. And there were a couple of threes that got hit right in his face by Jokic. But you know what? He held Jokic to...
30 and 18 rebounds.
Listen.
You're right.
Listen.
Uh-huh.
Who won?
The Timberwolves.
The Timberwolves won.
100%.
And they would have maybe not won if Cat was out.
If Draymond Green
If Draymond was on their team, they would not have won.
No, that would be the greatest defense of schema ever devised, bro.
Okay, this isn't a podcast about Draymond Green.
It should be.
This is about...
Petition to change my name to Droll those for Draymond Green.
Draw the trampoline draw.
What the hell? I can't believe
What do
you
you think?
said that obscenity on live podcast.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Overall, dude, I thought that was a really, really freaking entertaining game. Crazy comeback. I hate Jaden McDaniels.
Care to elaborate why?
Dirty player. Likes to get into fights. Acts like he's way cooler than he is.
Oh, did you see the dunk at the very end that he went for? You didn't see it.
I didn't see it. No.
But I saw it. I thought it
happened?
was cool. He went to self lob a dunk, like bouncing it right close to the rim,
Oh, when they were already up.
When they were like the game was over.
So he's a bad
like they
sport.
were dribbling out the clock. They had it, and he went like that, and I can't remember who on the Nuggets fouled him, but that's when we turned the game off. There was like less than 20 seconds left.
Anyway, overall, like honestly, what an entertaining series.
Yeah.
Back and forth. I remember. Do you remember when it was 2-0? Like at the very beginning of the series, and like everyone was like, "This is gonna be a sweep. This is crazy."
Yeah, and just how fast that was just flipped.
Reversed, and then people are saying Nuggets at 6, and then what's up?
Yeah, and then reverse again.
Yeah,
reverse
again,
like,
dude.
I would like to see what the betting odds were at halftime for the Nuggets to win. Probably pretty crazy.
Well, there was that stat where at the beginning of the game, the Nuggets were favored by 4.5, and then like toward the middle of the game, it was all the way up to 12.5. That's one of the betting odds I did catch.
Yeah,
just as crazy.
Yeah. What do you think are some of the key things that led to Denver's 30-point deficit?
Oh
well, not
gosh.
deficit, but just the turnaround.
That's a really good question. I think the refs let them play a little bit more in the
on
second
both
half.
sides of the ball.
Yeah, which favors Timberwolves.
Because in the first quarter, Jaden McDaniels had 2. Cat had 2. I don't think Rudy had 2, but he had quite a few. He fouled out.
That's crazy. They both Cat and Gobert almost fouled out. That's kind of ridiculous.
Yep.
Yeah, chippy game.
But then through the after the second half, the Wolves weren't in the bonus for a significant amount of time before the Nuggets were.
Well, in the fourth quarter, they were in the bonus right away.
Yeah.
That's a good question though. What was the change? I wish I didn't have a headache. I could actually try to look at it from a more analytical lens, because what did change? Was it just them
Jamal
making
Murray
more?
took less shots.
That's also true.
He had 17 in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Or
29 at half, right?
Something like that. Yeah. So it seemed like they locked in on defense in the second half.
Versus Denver being very locked in the first half.
Denver went 6 straight minutes and maybe more without a single field goal.
That's
or
so
a single point, not
crazy.
even free throws, I think.
And
That's
remember,
so crazy.
Through the first and second quarter, through the first half, we were commenting to each other just about how it felt like every Timberwolves possession was going down to the end of the shot clock, and it wasn't a pretty shot that was coming out of that, if a shot even did come out of it. And there were a lot of shot clock violations from the defensive intensity that Denver brought.
Denver was freaking bringing it, man. It was awesome to watch until they weren't. And maybe it was fatigue, because I think I looked at it. I can't remember the exact number, but I looked up right after the game ended. Jokic played legit 45 minutes. Yeah. Which is insane.
Through the third quarter, he played all but 1 minute.
Yeah.
And it had to have been at the very end of either the first or second quarter that he just sat.
So maybe it was fatigue. And what you were saying about there being a 6-minute drought of scoring, that's crazy, because throughout the year and probably past year and a half or whatever, we've always had the Nuggets have been described as this well-oiled offensive and defensive team, where it's they are so well put together they can go ice cold and it's still okay, because just the way that they all fit together, it's like a well-oiled machine, so for them to go scoreless for 6 minutes, I mean, that's freaking crazy. And Rudy Gobert going in, a lot of people were worried about him, people being able to pick him apart, being able to scheme around Gobert. And I mean, Gobert has been playing so great, but oh my gosh, and that weird fadeaway jumper, can we just talk about that for a second?
Was so hyped on the bench.
Oh my god, that was so funny. I was hyped when I saw that.
Hyped, yeah,
that was awesome. The craziest play of the game for me.
That was right.
Yeah, I think so.
Was that the first lead change back? It was either that possession or the possession before.
Oh, I don't know.
That was right when the momentum started to shift towards the Wolves.
When
And-
Rudy Gobert is hitting fadeaways, you know you're in trouble.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
And both of his free throws. He did that
Yeah.
a couple times tonight,
Huh. Wow, what
which
a
is
game.
also crazy.
Man. Is that going to be the best series that we get until
I
maybe
think
the
so.
finals?
I think so.
Well, maybe the Mavs. Timberwolves.
Who did the Nuggets beat in
Yeah.
the Western Conference Finals last year? Does anyone
Lakers.
remember? The Lakers. Yep. And they swept them.
Yep. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. I can't believe the Nuggets lost. So many people had them as the favorite. The Wolves are just fucking good, dude.
Dr. Bill Kaizer and I did not have them as a
I
favorite.
know.
Through and through.
Yeah, I'm
I guess
just-
after game 4, when things, or
Or
even
game
game
five.
5, things were getting a little scary.
Yes,
we
they
were scared.
They gave me a lot more confidence when they beat them by 45.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
That was, yeah.
I didn't
That
watch
was
that
the
game, but-
performance that we needed from Ant tonight, and we didn't really get that.
Yeah,
But
he was quiet.
everyone else really stepped up on the Timberwolves.
Mm-hmm.
Cat did, especially.
And Jaden McDaniels.
Oh,
and
no.
Jaden McDaniels.
Fuck that guy.
What did he have? He probably had like 3 or 4 steals.
You want to know why I want
Very
to
good
Jaden
defense.
McDaniels? I want to attach a heart bomb to Jaden McDaniels
No.
and explode his
No.
heart.
You can't be saying stuff like that.
Why not? Are you worried about our sponsor?
Our sponsor will not have that. That's not okay.
Okay.
Take it back.
I take it back.
Thank you.
Now mouth.
Did I show you my notes, by the way?
No, go ahead. What were your notes for this game? Jaden McDaniels' frowny face. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nothing else needs to be said.
Nothing else?
Dirty player. Well, cool. What else? Any other major takeaways from that? Do we want to talk about like maybe Indiana too?
Sure, we can talk about Indiana.
Well, do we have anything else to really say about the game? I mean,
it was a good game. Yeah, that's really it.
Yeah.
Props to the Denver Nuggets. Where do you think they go from here?
the Nuggets.
They just run it back.
Yeah.
They need depth,
Yeah, they do.
Everyone needs depth right now.
especially the Nuggets.
The Nuggets
Yeah.
need depth the most.
What do you mean the most?
Like when you look at their depth, there's none. And
Yeah.
if just the conversation we just had about, what were the reasons why Denver just fell apart? Fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
Because Jokic is playing the whole game. Because the second that you switch Jokic out, they're gonna get scored on.
There's a reason he played 45 minutes.
There is a
Yeah.
reason that he played 45 minutes. And then you have teams like the Timberwolves who can sit Cat almost all the fourth quarter. Now I know it was because he was in foul trouble, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, if we don't have Cat in the game, like our offense is toast. Like,
Yeah.
that's the case for the Denver Nuggets. And
It's
if
'cause
you
that
think
was
of like the
really-
last couple of years, not last year because they obviously won, but years prior to that when Jamal Murray has been injured, that's been like the reason that they just haven't been able to do it. As great as Jokic is and as productive and how great the offense flows through him without good pieces around him, like Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
He couldn't do it.
Well, he was injured this series. He's been dealing with the calf strain, right? That's what it is.
Who? Jamal?
Jamal Murray.
Oh, yeah. It didn't seem to affect him very much, though.
Not today, but earlier in the series for sure. Like the first 2 games.
The first 2 games, but not the middle 3 games and the 6th game. I think he just had bad games.
Well,
Yeah.
that's fine, but it's been a consistent like he missed a lot of the last games of the regular season too. Which is why I say just run it back. Look for depth where you can, but I mean,
Yeah, they need a new Bruce Brown.
But here's the thing, right? Christian Brown, he's going to get another year of experience under him. I love
He
Christian Brown.
He needs to
And
hit
then
his shots.
Peyton
and then
Watson.
He'll be good.
I agree. But that's something that you can develop in a young player.
Yeah.
Especially when you're in a good system that will foster their young players and get them open looks like the Nuggets will. And then Peyton Watson, he didn't play a lot because he's been kind of struggling in the playoffs. But that's a rookie, right? So another year of experience there. I mean, that's natural homegrown depth.
Remember that point of the game when the Nuggets were down 5, and there was like 5 seconds left on the shot clock, and Jokic pump faked a 3, or hesitated on a 3.
Yeah.
I just felt like that was. I don't feel like Jokic was playing with that like intensity that he plays of like. I rarely see him hesitate like that.
Yeah.
And
he looked off.
That was one of the points where I just thought to myself like, this game is the Timberwolves' game to win.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, whether it was the fact that he was tired or he just wasn't feeling his shot, but it took him a while to make a 3.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, if that's why he hesitated, then he's in his head about how many he missed before that, and that is, I think that is also one of the reasons why they lost, despite the points that he put up, just not having enough gas to finish the game and to finish it in the way that we would expect him to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I think fatigue has something to do with that too, but Anyway. Also that cat, I just want to shout that out. The cat put back dunk toward the end. Oh my god, that was so nasty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, okay.
Right place, right time. Sometimes you're there.
Do
Sometimes you're not.
Do we want to talk Pacers next at all?
I don't feel like there's that much to be said about the Pacers.
Not really. Just as the
I think
series
at the beginning of the series, I told Dr. Bill Kaizer here that I just didn't really have much interest in what I did end up watching one of the games, but you know, the Knicks have a lot of injuries and the Pacers aren't bad, and I will be the first one to admit that I thought the Pacers were bad, and I was very doubtful of the Pacers to make it. I know I had them making it past the Bucks, but that's just because of injuries alone, in favor of the Pacers, because Giannis and Dame were both out multiple games in that series. But
and Chris Middleton and sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. But yeah, just unfortunate loss for the Knicks. I'm a big fan of Jalen Brunson since he left the Mavericks.
You guys were talking about this today.
We have been talking about this quite a lot, of just how great of a player that he has turned into, when for the longest time like he was like the number 2 guy behind Luka, and you know, that's the way that I saw him to be, and you know, with how many 40-point games that he's put up just in the playoffs alone, it's crazy.
He's a great player.
Great player.
Man, that next team is going to be so dangerous next year. When they're all healthy, oh my gosh. Who are they losing? I need to look that up. I need to look up who they're losing. Isn't Hartenstein a free agent this summer?
But DiVincenzo has moved teams every year since he was the Warriors, and then 1 year at the Bucks and 1 year at the Knicks. So
I think
that's
keep him.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Because he's a good player. You know, he is so solid. But anyway,
39 tonight.
That's crazy. Good showing from him. We don't watch the game today, but
we did not.
Just too bad.
We caught the very, very end of it.
Anyway, not a lot to talk. Do you have anything about the Knicks Pacers?
Yeah, just the Knicks were too injured. Yep, and they fell into a similar problem as the Nuggets, with just lack of depth. And they were. I mean, I didn't watch the last game, so I don't know exactly what happened. But I saw whatever game they got just completely destroyed in.
Yeah. Well, there were a couple games where they got destroyed. I'm pretty sure, right? I think they're all these series are starting to blend together.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I mean, I actually watched a lot of this series, and yeah. I mean, part of the problem too is like, Thibodeau is such a hard coach to have like depth problems with, because he's not going to play a large rotation anyway. Yeah. So if you're already struggling with like injuries and stuff, like it's just going to compound when you're working for Thibodeau. But Anyway, that's my thought.
Cool.
Those are my thoughts. Halliburton's a beast, but that's it.
Should we talk about OKC and the Mavericks?
Sure. Yeah. I think this was the series I watched the least amount of. So you guys should start.
Because you picked the Warriors and Clippers?
Yeah. I was like, these guys don't freaking matter to me at all. These are just nobodies who accidentally got here. It should have been Golden State.
I am very excited about the future of OKC. And that's not to shy away from the narrative that the Mavs won. Fair and square. Mm-hmm. There were some very close games in that series. And they lost last night by 1 point, which Dr. Bill Kaizer did watch. Tell us about that game, Bill.
That game, it was like this Nuggets game, but even better. I mean, it wasn't a Game 7, which makes it maybe not as good. But the actual game itself was better. Because it was very similar. The Thunder had a 6-minute drought of, it was either field goals or points, I don't remember, but and they were up 17, which the Nuggets were up 20.
Nuggets were up 20.
And then, but the difference was at the end of the game, it was still a game, and you didn't know who was going to win. But in this game, by like when there were like 4 or 3 minutes left, you knew it was over.
Yeah.
But yeah, that game went down to the wire, and yeah, the Thunder went up on a technical foul, or an inbounding foul, which gave him a free throw, and then I think it was a Chet lob dunk to put him up by 1.
Oh yeah.
I watched the ESPN. It was like the final 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. It was quite something, and I hope for the sake of your predictions that the Mavericks make it all the way, because that would be quite the run.
What about your prediction? You're still in it. You still got.
True, I am still in it. I was wrong about OKC and the Mavericks, which I have said now, and I was also wrong about the 76ers.
Well, because you didn't think the Knicks would be.
I had Knicks.
You had the
76ers.
You had Celtics.
And it's
Sixers.
I had Celtics Sixers, but now it's Celtics Pacers. But I did have the Celtics advancing to the finals.
We all got the East wrong.
That's so crazy that the Pacers made it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
That is.
That's so wild.
Let's just, again, not to discredit the Pacers here, but 2 series where the other team are very injured.
Wait a sec. Did y'all have the Pacers going to the Eastern Conference Finals?
No.
He
didn't?
He had the Magic.
Oh, Jal?
Oh,
yeah, he had the Magic and the Heat, probably.
He had the Magic and the Heat.
Or did they play before them?
They would have played before them.
I just know that he had the Magic.
He had the Magic.
Magic winning the East.
Yeah, because rest his heart, or rest his soul or whatever. But
yeah, God rest his soul.
Because he had wait a sec. He had
Pacers beating the Bucks.
Pacers beat the Bucks, and then he had
the 76ers.
He had Heat at the 7th seed.
That's what it was,
right? He had to have.
Yes. Yep.
And then he beat the Knicks. And then
Celtics you're right.
Was it the Bulls or something?
I don't remember his bracket.
We'll have to look
I
it
think
up.
he had like the Bulls beating the Celtics.
That's so crazy. Yeah.
God rest his soul.
Facts.
You know, if he lived forever,
what would he do?
His bracket would one day be right.
That's so crazy. Yeah, it would.
Yeah. That's how we will remember him. Every year, we will make his bracket just like that.
But what if those teams aren't in the...
That doesn't even matter.
Bro, how would you seed it then? So all of them would be identical seeds?
We would just have to wait until the year.
Yeah, it'll happen eventually.
It'll happen eventually.
As long as we live forever.
As long as
we will...
As long as we lived forever.
That's a good point. What were we talking about? Oh.
What would you do if you lived forever? Literally everything.
Play a one-on-one game with Jaden McDaniels.
Well, Jaden McDaniels won't live forever. So you would have a very short amount of time. You would have a fraction of a particle.
Until Jaden
in terms of infinity.
eventually respawns.
Wow.
Because eventually Jaden McDaniels will
eventually there will be another person named Jaden McDaniels, and they will go to UW.
It'll be an identical.
Do you think they would drop out?
Probably. Oh yeah, he's a dropout too. I mean, that's.
Do we even confirm that?
I don't think we did. He's a dropout.
What if he's like a 4.0 student? That would be so funny.
Oh man, dude, it is so crazy that.
Zach? What if you were in a class with Jaden McDaniels? Wouldn't that be pretty cool? You'd be like,
yeah.
You'd be like, hi.
Wait, what'd you call
And then Dr. Bill Kaizer.
There you
and
go.
then he'd be like, oh, Dr. Bill Kaizer, I've heard of you before.
Please don't do surgery on my heart.
you're the heart explosion guy. And then you'd be like, oh yeah, meet my friend Charles Limberous. He really wants to play you before he never dies.
Yeah.
All this is
so much fun.
A hypothetical of you living forever.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. If you live forever, you would eventually become a heart surgeon. Oh, you are a heart surgeon, but a heart surgeon that
plants bombs.
Plants bombs on people's hearts.
Listen, if we all live
Wait,
forever,
so you already do that. You killed Dorford Jamal.
You killed
Man, I keep on forgetting recent
Listen,
events.
That's
crazy.
If we all live forever, I was going to say together. If we all live
That's
together,
sweet.
that would be cool. If we all live forever, eventually we would be what Charles Barkley and Shaq and the NBA on ESPN crew. We would be NBA. We would be the crew, minus our good friend
Joel.
God rest his soul.
Wow.
But if we live forever, then he wouldn't be dead because he would live forever.
You're right.
Man, this is so complicated.
I think instead of watching basketball, we should invest all of our time and energy into creating something that can bring him back to life.
It's impossible. His heart exploded.
Well,
Dr. Bill Kaizer, can you come back to life after your heart has exploded?
Garrett.
Well, it's never
love.
What's my name?
Sorry, Joel. Love can fix any broken heart.
Wow, that's a beautiful sentiment.
What do you think about that?
I think that's crazy that the Thunder were scoreless for 6 minutes. I mean, their offense, kind of similarly to the Nuggets, their offensive schema is so well built to getting good open looks.
Because they play 5 out.
Because they play 5 out, but also just because they have so many they have such a variety of role players that they can throw into any given system, and it's it always seems like there's an open man when you have Shea driving. Mm-hmm. There's always somewhere to kick.
They didn't play Isaiah Joe enough, I think.
Well, the game before,
but
he missed way too many threes.
Really? He's still their best 3-point shooter.
That is true. I don't know if that was the reason why they sat him, but
they're playing Wallace, I think his name.
I remember you and I were talking about that last game, or because I know you watched that game, because we were talking about how no, this was the game that he was shooting good. Isaiah Joe used to be on the 76ers, and they waived him for cap space, I believe, to acquire Harden. It was around that time. And now Isaiah Joe has been the 6-man / a starter on OKC and a great 3-point shooter, well above 40%. Low 40, but to me that's well above 40. That's a great shooter, but
he's a great shooter.
He was streaky and missing quite a few shots open in the last game. I remember making a mental note of that while watching the game. I was like, Isaiah Joe, the reason that the OKC lost was because their 3-point percentage was terrible. But shooters are streaky sometimes.
That's how it be.
You know, we just witnessed Anthony Edwards, who earlier in the series people were chanting that he was Michael Jordan's son,
Mm-hmm.
and we witnessed him go 1 for 11
Is that
through
where he
3
ended up?
quarters. No.
Oh, okay.
But at one point of the game, he was
That's
1
so
for
crazy.
11,
That's so crazy.
and it was like,
I think
don't give him the ball.
I think it's 2 for
2 for 11.
He was 1 for 9.
But one of them was a dunk.
Did he miss a
A
dunk?
layup.
No, well, he didn't miss a dunk.
He made it to that was. His
That
second
remember that
like,
was the
field
one
goal.
that was like
Oh, that was the second.
a really.
Yeah.
It was just
Yeah.
like a plain normal dunk because like
On the steal.
yes on the steal
That was his
He had a
second
lot of
field goal.
steals for dunks, or at least 2.
he did have. Yeah.
It might have
So
been 3.
good.
And there were some. I know one steal from Jaden McDaniels
Ew.
resulted in a fast break dunk.
I'm sorry, you just said
One-
the cursed name.
1 steal for him resulted in a foul and 2 free throws.
Ooh.
So, which is the same. Not as cool, but
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Anyway,
I think that's about it.
what about Cavs Celtics? Does anyone want to say anything about all of it?
We
anything?
want Boston.
That's really funny.
The Cavs fans cheering that at the end of their last series was wild.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny, yeah.
It was
What do you want?
hilarious.
Yeah.
They did better than I expected them to do, though.
Yeah.
They had a few close games, and they
Yeah.
won one.
I wonder how much Kristaps being out hurts Boston.
Seems
Mm,
It seems like a lot,
Yeah.
yeah.
which is weird because I think the stat is they were like 23-4. I want to say without Kristaps in the regular season, which is like I mean that's a pretty good record, you know. But
He has a very well-rounded game, especially
Kristaps?
with his time in Washington. He developed and became a very, very efficient three-point shooter, along with
Yeah.
being a good pick and roll option, along with being a good traditional big man when he needs to be. But just having that three-point shot and the extra spacing that he provides to the Celtics is fairly significant, I would say.
Yeah, I mean I agree. It's gonna be so crazy if he comes back and he's healthy. That's the biggest question mark I think in all the playoffs right now. Is like all of the playoffs right now. That's the biggest question mark.
Okay, but what if Embiid was healthy?
The Celtics would have, or the Sixers. Wow, I said Celtics instead of Sixers.
The Sixers would have won that series. You think? I think versus the Knicks.
Yeah, I think they would. I think it would have been even closer. I don't know.
2 games they lost by like
I know,
2 points.
but there's too many like what ifs. You know.
True.
So.
Yeah.
True.
Do you think Cleveland is going to trade Donovan Mitchell in this offseason?
I saw a comment from a question that a reporter had asked Donovan Mitchell after they lost, and he said that he's happy in Cleveland. Which I
That's
know
what
that I
everyone
know
says
that's like
all
a
the
very
time.
like PR kind of response of just, but no, it was framed in a way that like, and to go beyond that response, it was like, I just need to be better next year, and
That's
I don't need
another
to
guy.
think about switching teams.
That's another guy that, like, you know, if he was healthy, I mean, that's a huge difference, you know, because there were games where he looked healthy, especially in the Celtics series, but there were also games where you're like, this guy looks a little bit slower than he used to. I think they should 100% trade him, though.
To who? For who?
Whoever will take, anyone who will take him. I would get as any kind of assets you can get back. Just start rebuilding. Because as constructed, they are not good enough, and they don't flow good enough together
So then,
to win anything.
just let's end it out here. What teams do you feel are at a point where they should just start rebuilding? I think the Clippers.
They've already signed Kawhi, so they can't because they're going to have.
I
Kawhi
know,
for
but
the
it's just like every year it's been, oh, if we're all healthy, then like, we're winning this. And then this last year with acquiring Russell Westbrook and James Harden, the narrative has been pushed even more of, this is our year.
And they're getting so old now.
And they are
Yeah.
getting old, and for Kawhi wasn't at his best in the series versus the Mavs, but they had been more healthy than they've been the last 3 years combined.
He didn't play. He played 2 games. And
I know, I know.
Was not.
He played, and you could tell that his knee was bad, but like last playoffs, he like didn't play at all.
The 2 games that the Clippers won was when he was not playing. Kawhi was a negative when he was out there, like in this series.
But again, I'm saying that he's healthier than he had been in the last 2 years in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I don't even think so. It wasn't. Was it last year? Am I tripping? You guys can correct me. Last year he played. Didn't he play 2 games?
Oh.
Against who were they playing? The Suns.
I don't remember. I remember that by the end, Westbrook was the only guy left.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Paul George and Kawhi both got hurt.
Yep.
So you think Clippers should start rebuilding? That's interesting. I think.
And however that rebuild looks,
I don't think they can, because they have the pieces.
They're in too deep. I feel like.
they're in too deep.
So
they
they're
have
like
the
the
pieces
Suns.
that they could win it all with the pieces they have. And hypothetically, and it's not too long before those guys are just going to be. You got to use them.
I think Paul George's contract, I want to say it's up.
He's a free agent right
Yep.
now, so it all depends on if Paul George goes
yes.
back or if he signs somewhere else.
I
Maybe
saw a take that Philly might look to acquire him.
Would you like that? Going after Paul George, or would you rather get a couple role players that are super solid?
I like Paul George.
Okay.
I feel like he would be a better option than Tobias Harris.
Yeah.
That's a great take. That is about the safest take you can possibly have. Oh my god. Tobias Harris is a free agent, isn't he?
Yep.
I hope the Warriors pick him up. Sorry, I'm
Why?
just kidding.
Do you think the Sixers will pick him up? Do you want them to?
If anything, it'll be similar to the second year that James Harden was on the team, and they would propose a much smaller contract with the clause of having the ability to add someone else onto the team and having him step down and have less of a role after his abysmal...
he needs to step up, not step down.
Well, if he's going to step down...
Then be paid like he's getting stepped
Then be paid like he's stepped down.
Which he did.
Yeah. But, yeah, that is... that's my one team that I feel that they just can't get it done.
The Clippers.
What about you?
The Clippers.
Well, I agree that they're not going to get it done, but I don't think they should. I feel like they've got the pieces. They got to at least use them while they have them. But I guess I don't know what they're going to do with Paul George.
That's really dependent on what they do with Paul George. But who do you think should start a rebuild right now?
Out of teams in the playoffs or what?
Yeah, teams that have lost in the playoffs.
The Lakers.
That's what I was going to say too. It's time to pull the plug.
Yeah, the Lakers. They don't have a chance.
No, they don't. Isn't LeBron like?
But they're gonna re-sign LeBron.
They're gonna
I really
try
feel
to.
like they are.
They're definitely going to try to. The question is, does LeBron want to stick around? They said that the Lakers said that they were going to draft Bronny.
They said
Like
that?
if they have the opportunity to, they were going to draft Bronny.
Well, I doubt he's gonna. He probably will. Have
His
the
draft
opportunity
stock rose quite a bit after the
At the
NBA
combine.
at the combine. It was like
to. But it's still
up
like
30
second
spot.
round.
True,
So
true, but before it was like he's not ready for the NBA. But if he goes,
what happened to the combine? Was he just athletic or something?
He was athletic. He shot
I didn't
well.
watch it. I just
I don't know what happens at the combine.
I just saw highlights too. I mean, I'm not that much of a sicko, but like.
But the fact that people that are in charge.
I know that he had a good combine. That's why I know. So.
Yep.
But I agree. I was going to say the Lakers too. There's literally no future forward for them, and it's pretty disappointing because it's like you can't re-sign LeBron because if you, I don't know. I don't even know what they do. I think they try to trade LeBron.
Trade him? Can he just leave?
Well, if he re-signs,
Okay.
because isn't he on a player? It's like a player decision right now.
Something like that.
Like you can choose to extend that.
He has a Fuck, I'm spacing on the name,
Player
but
option.
the player option. Yeah, I think that's the case. Maybe
I
I'm
think-
capping.
Which just
I'm
doesn't
not
that just
right.
mean if another team offers you a contract or offers you like an amount of money, then your team has an opportunity to match that? Something like
No,
that.
a player option is like he's been given a contract and he's getting paid like X amount per year or whatever. A player option is you can opt out of that if you want to go to free agency, or you can opt into and just keep
Okay.
your payment.
That's
So
what it is.
okay, but so we covered all that stuff.
Yeah.
Perfect. Do we want to do this? Might be the last thing that we do, but do we want to just do a quick review of how our picks have gone thus far?
Sure.
Just a quick recap because we're two rounds in. We're nearing the end
Yep.
or whatever.
I'll start. I got mine on my mind.
Okay.
First off, I was wrong about the OKC and Mavericks game. I had that matchup, but I did not have that matchup because I had the Clippers beating the Mavericks, who, again, I just said this, I'm a fan of Paul George, and I like Kawhi despite what he did to the 76ers years ago, but I've been surprised at the runs that Luka has made to the Western Conference Finals. This is now 3 times in the last 4 years.
I thought it was 2 in the last.
2 in the
three.
last.
2 in the last 3.
Yeah.
Yep. But so I was wrong about the Mavericks. Wrong about the Pacers, obviously,
And the Sixers.
and the Sixers.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's it.
Cool.
You had the Kings making it to the playoffs.
All of my playing, I was perfect on my play-in games,
Except the Kings.
except for the Kings. But that didn't really matter because they would have. I had them losing in the first round.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything. I guess we all had Denver beating the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
We all had.
Is that the only thing we all had?
We all had the Pacers beating the Bucks.
No, not Garrett.
Garrett.
I had the
not
Bucks.
Charles Limberous.
Yeah, I had the Bucks winning in
Okay.
7, but that was before I thought Giannis would be able to return in the series.
Yeah.
I thought. I didn't expect Dame to be injured. Bobby Portis got ejected like in the first quarter of one of the games.
That was fun.
That was fucking funny, dude. And then
Isn't that
Chris
the game that
Middleton
they
was
won?
also struggling with an injury. So
Did they?
I
I thought they
swear
lost that.
there
game.
was one game where
That'd be good.
they had nobody. They
They
had,
put up a challenge. We watched at your place.
was it no? That was that the game.
Yeah, I think so, right?
No, we watched the Clippers Mavs. I thought
We watched
but we
2
also
games.
we also watched.
the game before. I thought it was a Sixers.
No, it was a Pacers.
It was a Sixers game.
That was in the
Oh, you're
morning.
right.
We watched the very tail end of that.
Did we watch 2.5?
We watched,
games?
yeah.
That's crazy.
No,
Oh yeah, you're
2
right.
in
We
one
watched-
quarter.
Yeah, we watched the Pacers Bucks. Yeah, you're right.
Yep. Yeah, that was the game that
Hmm.
Dame was out,
Man.
that Giannis was out, that Chris Middleton started, or I can't remember, but lots of injuries.
I think the biggest thing was I was really expecting Giannis to come back because that's what a lot of people
we
were
all wanted to
saying,
see
and-
Thanasis come out.
Oh my
that's-
god, that was
That's how
awesome.
deep it was getting into the bench. We were
Bro.
like, come on, just.
They should
put
just
him
let
out
him
there.
cook.
But I can't remember who won that game.
Is
I think it was the Pacers.
we didn't watch the end. We only watched the.
Why would we not watch the end?
Because you had to.
Oh,
you had
yep.
to leave.
Yeah. That's why I can't remember who won because we didn't watch the end.
Yeah.
Yep. But I'm happy with my picks.
Cool.
Wrong in a couple spots, but it's the playoffs. Lots of injuries happen. Jalen Brunson broke his hand today, and I watched the clip on it, and literally all he did was like
Slap a knee.
slap, and then you just like see it go limp.
Yeah, it's crazy. But he's out of the playoffs, so hopefully he gets better.
Yep.
But it's fairly non-consequential right now.
Chaw,
You-
how was your bracket?
My bracket's not doing very good,
Yep.
everyone. Here's something that I've actually thought of because I've been thinking about it a lot. I'm like, how did I get this so wrong, right? And what's the common theme about the picks I had wrong? I think I've given way too much credence to past playoff success than like how teams have actually performed this year. And that's something that was fairly apparent. I mean, let's go down the list, right? The Golden State was just not a good pick. Like, that was way too risky, especially with them coming out of the play-in. I still love Golden State. I do think both series that they would have hypothetically played well into their matchup. But that was just way too crazy. And that's an example of first of all, I love Golden State, but that's a team with former playoff experience, that I overrated, right? So then who was the 2-7 matchup in the West? Nuggets, Lakers. Well, I got that one, so that's whatever, because that was an easy pick. But I mean, even like Nuggets, Timberwolves, right? Like, I've been high on the Timberwolves the whole regular season, right?
Yeah.
And then, but I mean, it was a great series too. But my point is, like, that's another example where I relied more on past playoff experience than this regular season or whatever. And then,
not to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
After this game tonight, the statistic of in the last 6 years, the reigning champion has not made it past the second round, which is just wild, and it now continues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's such a weird stat.
Mm-hmm.
Man, because people have been saying, like, it's weird that we haven't had a back-to-back champion since the Warriors. But let me think. Suns, Timberwolves, it didn't really matter. But I got that pick. Who was the 4-5? Oh, Clippers versus
Mavs.
I guess Mavs do have playoff experience, but not in this current iteration. Not with Kyrie.
Yeah, but
so it's a whole different team. Whereas
the Clippers, the players have playoff experience, but not for the Clippers very much.
I mean, their core does. I mean,
not
how long?
With the Clippers, right? They had like one run, and then other than that, they're always injured.
Always injured.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, the core. I'm going to stand by that point because they've gone to the playoffs, like the past 4 years, something like that.
But they've always been either first or second round exits.
That's fine, but they have that experience. And what I'm saying is I got that prediction wrong, because, and that's another example where I'm like, they had playoff experience.
You cannot underestimate Luka. I feel like that is the one takeaway from this series.
But
there were some games that he shot terribly.
Yeah. It's weird, bro. It's like, it's what you were saying, Dr. Bill Kaizer, you were saying this earlier. Like, the role players have come alive with the Mavericks. It's freaking crazy to watch, man. Where the hell did PJ Washington come from? That's crazy.
He didn't come from WSU, I'll tell you that much.
Seems like an awkward shot fired at me. Jesus.
But you're like hating on Jaden McDaniels like all night about him being from UW.
What was I saying?
Leave that at the door, and maybe I won't jab you.
Dude, they just got this guy from the depths of Charlotte, like at the trade deadline, and he's balling out. It's crazy. Anyway, and then, sorry, I'll just finish this thought. Celtics was an easy pick. The Knicks, Sixers. I guess I picked the Knicks, but I mean the Sixers have a lot of.
You picked them over the Heat.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But I think I had that game. I don't know. That's weird because it's planned. And then the 3-6 from the East. I picked the Bucks, which is wrong. That's another playoff experience type thing. So that's the common thing that I've noticed for myself. I have not picked very well. But if I were to redo it, I don't know if I would have swapped any of my picks, but I would have, maybe in terms of games, I would have factored previous playoff experience less if I were to go back in time with hindsight. But okay, that's my thoughts.
We'll swing it to our ESPN NBA analyst, Dr. Bill Kaizer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I dropped my first series tonight with the Pacers beating the Knicks.
That's so crazy.
I had all the play-ins. I had all the teams going to the right spots. I thought that
you had the Pelicans
at the 8 seed, yeah. But I thought the Warriors would beat the Kings, then the Pelicans would beat the Warriors.
Yep.
But the Pelicans beat the Kings instead.
That's crazy. Your luck has been so good.
Yeah, so I got the whole first round right, and all the teams were in the right spot from the play-in. And then, I just lost the Knicks-Pacers game.
How many games did you have the Pacers-Knicks series going? Because you said in favor of the Knicks, right? Do you remember?
No, it was probably not 7,
Not 7.
which it went to 7.
Yeah.
It was probably 6 or 5.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. But they've been gotten
Yeah.
super injured through the playoffs.
Yeah,
now,
they lost
so.
Mitchell and Anunoby, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
Did Cleveland, Orlando go to Game 7? It did,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That was one that I was also wrong about.
You had the Magic winning that
I had the Magic winning that
Okay.
series,
Interesting.
which nearly happened.
Mhm.
That was the first game.
I would have looked like a genius if that happened.
That was when Joel's bracket broke. This one.
No, it broke when the Suns were
I got
very-
swept.
They were the first team to be eliminated.
Yeah, that is true.
That's yikes.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
God rest his soul.
God.
And his picks.
And his picks.
They're
for real.
6 feet under.
There's Does he have a single team remaining?
No,
I don't think he
think
does.
so.
Right?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Cause I don't remember.
We'll have to look into that for the sake of
'Cause I know he had the-
remembering him.
He had
Yeah.
the Suns, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
and I know he had the Clippers beat the Mavs.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was the only one who picked the Mavs.
Oh yeah, because you're smarty pants.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do we have anything else for this, or is this a wrap?
I love my friends.
Aww. Do you want to give me a big hug?
Absolutely. Let the record know that I love my friends.
And we hate Jaden
And we-
McDaniels.
And we also
We love Jaden McDaniels.
we love Jaden
Gross.
McDaniels is a great player, and we also accept Dr. Bill Kaiser's deepest apologies for his botched heart bomb operation.
No, it was a successful
Well,
operation.
It was
It was
successful.
successful, and I'm very proud of it.
And I think
I'm
that's what we
100
call the podcast.
100% success rate.
That's wonderful.
Oh my
How many people have you murdered?
No more heart bombs.
No comment.
No.
Just know I have 100%
All right.
confirmed kill ratio.
Let's call it there.
Yeah, let's call it there. What a great podcast. That was
What?
condensed.
What is what is it?
Clay Thompson's goaded, by the
No,
way.
no, no.
That's the last thing in my notes.
He was like
In
69 or
Anchorman,
something.
what does he say? He's
69
like,
gone.
"You stay classy, San Francisco," something like that.
Who, Clay?
No,
Was Klay Thompson an Anchorman?
no, in Anchorman 2
Oh, bro.
with Will Ferrell,
I have no idea.
something like that. You stay classy, San Francisco.